Hey everyone, William Mears here. Welcome to the first Ring Ads coaching call of the new year. Apologies about yesterday. I had a family emergency and was up all day and most of the night. Everything's fine, just, it was a good scare basically. And mom's back home now, everything's good. And so got her all, settled and back over and took care of some stuff. So, that's all done, and I'm happy to have you here with me. I'm excited, a lot of stuff to cover, and I just want you to know I'm grateful for you here, all of you that are here. Appreciate you, and I'm very excited to see what we can do together this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. So appreciate you, and thanks for bearing with me on that. Those of you who have known me for a long time know that I very rarely, if ever, miss coaching calls, and if I do, I always reschedule. So, no big deal. We didn't really miss out on anything. Just missed the set date. That's all. No biggie. Hell of a way to start. I'll give you that. But that's okay. That's what life's all about. We have things to do, challenges, right, that come up, and we deal with them, right? We deal with them and deal with them as appropriately as possible. It's all we can really do, right? So, again, grateful for you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. And I've got some slides, but it's not going to be a death by PowerPoint or anything. Like to be able to answer some questions. Definitely want to cover some stuff that you folks can be doing right now in preparation for the Ring Ads public launch. We do not have a date set on that, but I am getting closer by the minute on that. So now that mom's all tucked away and everything, I can actually get back to it and see where we're at a little bit later today after the call, obviously. So that said, let me switch over to my screen here. And you should be able to see, yep, Ring Ads coaching call. Cool. So first thing I want to do is I want to see if you guys remember this guy at all or not. Hold on, let me go to present mode. That might help a little bit. There we go. So does anybody remember this guy, Romeo Sykes? I made a post about it in our in the mentorship, right? We have a mentorship group, and right now I know a lot of you have asked about that. That's closed currently. I will be reopening that at some point. I'm not sure when, but I want to, obviously with Ring Ads Free for Life, I wanted to be able to show you guys and gals out there that it's possible to generate results with very little, if no, investment, and bootstrap this thing seriously. And that's exactly what a lot of people in the mentorship have done. The only difference is they got a lot of the information first, they got it faster, they got access to Ring Ads first on a private launch level, and that's why you're seeing their results. But it was really cool. The guy that I'm talking about, his name is Romeo, and Romeo's been around. I've known him for a while, and he's got a business partner, Rick, and Romeo and Rick are just how do I say this? Like, they're studs. They're good at anything they do, really. I'm sure you folks out there know people like that. Now, they came into this business model not quite getting the sales system and understanding how it works, not really knowing enough about it, even though they had gone through my training prior to being in the mentorship. And they got started in the mentorship. They basically they regrouped, geared back up, and went at this again. And they started, what was that? The Saturday after Black Friday. And their first client phone calls, in other words, prospecting to get clients, started December the 4th of last year, of 2019. So from the 29th, from November 29th to December 4th, so like 5 days later, they had everything set in place. The agency website template, all the stuff I've taught you folks for free as well, right? They had everything in place, ready to roll, and they used the dialer, my email systems, and all that. And we're able to go on a tear, an absolute tear. So if you remember, I might have posted this a while back, where in their second day of calling, actually, they ended up getting 3 clients in that day, but 2 of them were back-to-back calls, which was just, crazy. It's really cool to see that. And what I want to do is I want to show you, give you a little peek now at what's going on, because we fast forward, here we are on January 15th. That's it's basically a month and a half from when they started, if you think about it. So 45 days in, and less than that from the time they started prospecting for clients. And I want to show you kind of where they're at now. So just some screenshots here, and some of these might be out of order, but you can see there December 29th, client number 15, right? So, excuse me, December 27th, client number 15. I don't know why I said 29th. And on that same day, it was a 3-client day. It was 16 and 17 came in, right? How about that? It's pretty cool. December 27th, that's 2 days after Christmas, right? Look at this. 29th of December, they were up to client 18. January 5th, 20 and 21 came in. December 30th, yeah, I knew some of them were out of order here. Number 19, here's what's really cool is he was slippery, but I didn't give up, so be relentless, right? I love that. We spent some time on that and making sure his follow-up was very good, right, and in place, and that's what happens. And it's not just about getting clients, obviously. That's a great thing. You got to have it, but being able to drive qualified calls for them, and this is actually a really good screenshot. I want you to take some time and read this a little bit later. Come back to this and read this, because this is basically at every level of this business you're going to run into, I don't know if I can do that, and then you do it the first time, and then the second time, the third time, and the next thing you know you're on the 12th time, the 15th time, and that's everything in this business model, from setting stuff up to getting clients, to driving qualified phone calls, to getting rebills from existing clients, to expanding into verticals. At every level, you may have feelings that are very similar to this, which is I have a slight doubt, if you notice, that was written there. Drove qualified calls in the past, but not for a profit. This time it is, right? Like it's I get it. I get where you're at. I get every level of this business model, and I'm here to tell you that it is at every level. And as long as you're aware of that and you do it anyway, that's when you start winning at every level of this game. Not just getting clients, not just getting things set up, not just driving qualified phone calls, and so on and so on. At every level, this will come up, and you're going to have to beat it back with a stick and keep moving. And that's what makes the difference, right? It's January 6th. What is this? Client number 22. This is actually pretty interesting. Those of you who don't know, Romeo's got a couple of kids. And I'll tell you, sometimes, well, they're kids, right? They're 2 and 3 years old. I mean, they're going to be loud. Sometimes kids are going to be loud. You know that. Sometimes they're going to be whiny. Sometimes they're going to be whatever, right? They're going to be 2 and 3 year olds. That's what they're going to be. So I want you to notice, though, he says, he mentions here about his mindset changing from his first client to his 22 clients in, which is by January 6th. That was 9 days ago. Very, very short time frame there. Basically just at a month from making calls, he was 22 clients in. And he says, I believe in this program that I called with my children yelling and playing loudly in the background. My tone was one of complete conviction in business that the client still signed on, even though he heard the kids in the background. How crazy is that, right? That's some pretty slick stuff there. January 10th, 23 and 24 clients. I've heard at least 1,000 no's. I love that. It wasn't actually 1,000 no's. I know that for a fact, but it feels like it sometimes. That's the point he's making. It's not a walk in the park. It's not easy breezy. It's a business, and consistent work is required to be profitable. And if you were to read the rest of that post, you would see where he goes on to say that it's totally friggin' worth it. I mean, just over a month in, you got 23, 24 clients in, and then this happened a few days ago. On January 10th, he signed 4 clients. Today was fire. That's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So I want to ask you, I kind of figured the answer on this, but I want to ask anyway, just to be sure, because some of you may not want to hear from Romeo. I don't know. But I'm asking, would you like to? And if you would, then let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you'd like to hear from Romeo on how he did this and did this so rapidly. And I will be more than happy to ask him to come on to a session and see if we can pull from him what it takes, and what his day looks like, and what his day looked like when he first started, and maybe some of his sticking points, and we could probably bring Rick on too, I would think. But obviously, I need to ask for permission. But before I ask, I'd like to be able to show him that there's a ton of people that want to hear from him. He's actually in this group, and as well as the mentorship group as well. But I just want to make sure that everybody wants to actually hear from him. Okay, cool. Cool. So a lot of you want to hear. Good. And again, I know a lot of you think, oh, well, that's a loaded question. Of course we want to hear from him. Well, I don't know. Some people might not want to, because that is some rapid growth. I don't know if a lot of you realize what's actually possible with this business model and how I teach it, and management of, part of the reason he was able to do so well so rapidly is because of the management on the back end with Ring Ads. I mean, when that's running the business more than your average call tracking software out there, then this is the kind of result you can expect if you get after it, right? And that's I'm very proud of those two. They've done very well. Actually, there's a lot of people in the mentorship that are getting clients. I posted some screenshots. I've got some more to post up inside of the photo album, Ring Ads Rebels, right? I'm calling them Ring Ads Rebels. So you get a client, you post it in the group. I will screenshot that and induct you into the Ring Ads Rebels photo album, and a lot more is coming than just a photo album too, by the way. So imagine that you get rewarded for clients and you build your business. That's a pretty good concept. So okay, cool. So I know a lot of you want to hear from Romeo. That's good. I'm seeing that in the comments. That's going to be a good story. I know it for sure. Okay, so what we're going to cover today, let's talk about that real quick, and then we'll jump in here. I'm going to cover 3 simple rules to massive success. Some of you might remember me from another place talking about this all the time. There's a reason for that, and I'm going to dive into much more detail about these things. I'm going to cover the software and training access, the Facebook group that we have, live streams, of course, like we're doing right now, and support. Support's a big one. I know a lot of you are probably don't know how to reach support yet, but you're about to. You're about to learn how. And what do you see, right? What do you see this? It's going to be good. Then we're going to talk about the next steps, and these are things that you can do right now to prepare for when Ring Ads launches publicly. If you do these things, and not if, but when you do these things and Ring Ads launches publicly, you're going to be able to tap into it right away fully, and that's how you get started in my book, right? So I'm really looking forward to covering all this stuff today. So let's jump right in here. Let me grab something to drink, and we shall jump in. By the way, chime in the comments. Let me know who all's on. I can see a number, and that's it. But I see a bunch of on, but I can't see who's on. So let me know who's in and who's on with me, and I'll be more than happy to say hey to everybody. Glad you came out. Thanks for coming out. All right. Cool. So let's jump into 3 simple rules to massive success. And, I used to just say the rules and not really give any explanations. Those of you who remember me from doing this a long time ago. And I guess to me, it went without, it's just if you follow, if a rule is simple and you follow it, then you're golden. But I think part of the reason why people don't follow these rules as much as they should is they think they're rules from me, or they think they're rules from an authority or something. And it couldn't be further from the truth. These are rules that I have created, yes, but they're rules that govern your success. And that's what I want you to understand is, like, if you want success in this business model, these rules are to be followed. Not because I want you to follow them, but because the success demands that you do. And that's important. So I figured, you know what? It's high time I explain each of these rules and in detail and how it relates to the model and some of the pitfalls that I see people fall victim to, right? From their own doing or from just outside influence sometimes. And so that way, if you know where the pitfalls are, you step over them, or you step away from them, right? You don't step towards them or in them. And so here's the deal. We're going to cover the 3, and then I'm going to talk about each one individually here. So number 1, only follow the training provided. Number 2, you got to work at this consistently, and I do mean consistently. And number 3, use support for any issue. Okay. Those are the three rules. Very simple, but let me explain a little bit more about what I've seen and what it really means. So when I say only follow the training, the reason I say that, one of the reasons anyway, is I've seen 1,000,001 people try it their way first. Now, don't get me wrong. I love creative people. I work the best with them, actually, and I love working with them. They're smart. They're sometimes too smart for their own good, right? But I like it like that. I like it that way, and I like dealing with those kinds of people for sure. So I tend to attract a lot of creative people, a lot of forward thinkers, and I love that. I'm not trying to change that at all. I'm not trying to change that about you, actually. Here's what I mean by no trying it your way first. I can't tell you. I've lost count of how many times someone has tried it their way first and then come back to try it my way. And here's the thing. I'm not saying this to brag about whether you know the model better than us or not. It's just we know a way. Is it right? Is it wrong? No, there is no right or wrong. There is no right or wrong here. Okay. Can you make it succeed with your way? I'm sure you probably could. Can I guarantee that? Hell no. Can I support you in that? No, right? So why do it anyway, right? That's kind of the point. And I've seen people do this repeatedly where, think about this for a second. If you do it your way first and then come back and do it the way we taught and succeed with it, but then you fall right back in the same rut of the next concept and trying it your way first, and then you end up sacrificing a lot of momentum. And if you notice there, number 2, work at this consistently. Momentum is key, right? Momentum is key. Momentum helps you take a business that, how do I say, gives you exponential growth. If you want exponential growth in your agency, if you want to grow to mid-6 figures and above in a year or less, in many cases, then you have to have exponential growth. The only way to have exponential growth, by the way, is to have momentum on your side. If you have to start over again and again and again on every concept because you insist on doing it your way first or trying it your way first because you think you know better, then you're going to cost yourself. You're going to cost yourself. And for some people, it means costing themselves the entire business. And that's why I'm telling you about this and the experiences that I've gone through with people, that other people have gone through on their end, and showing you where the pothole is, where the pitfall is. Don't fall victim to that. Okay, you can always get creative later, and I encourage that, by the way. There's a time where you will teach me things, and I expect it, and I appreciate it, and I look forward to it. But day one is not the day, right? That's not the time. And perhaps Romeo and Rick can talk about the level of focus that it's required for them, because sometimes I know we all fall victim to a lack of focus. So that's something I'll probably ask them about, since I'm going to ask him on, see if he'll come on and have a chat with us. Here's the deal. Working consistently at this, right? I'm not asking for you to work at this full time. You don't have to work at this full time. If you put in 1 to 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, that's all you're going to need. That's all you're going to need. And if you consistently work at this, then you'll have momentum. And like I said, it's key. If you don't have consistency, that's another thing that robs you of that momentum, right? And momentum, in our case, translates to an exponential growth in an agency, okay? Another thing is this, like, you can screw this up constantly. And if you're consistent in terms of working at this, you will turn a profit. You'll still turn a profit. Obviously, you want to keep from doing that as much as possible, but no one's perfect. We're always going to screw something up, right? But the idea is, as soon as you're screwing it up and you know that, you go and fix it. No big deal. And then that saves your momentum or keeps your momentum moving forward, right? Very important stuff there. And then support. So what I've noticed is, people have questions, and initially you might, going through training or going through the software, for example, when you guys get it, you may have questions, and then all of a sudden, 5-10 minutes later, questions become things that completely stop you in your tracks for some reason, right? Whether they should or shouldn't isn't as important as the fact that it does, right? I think that's the key there. But the point I'm making here at the bottom is get the help you need before you get frustrated. this is what I really mean by use support, right? Use our support for any issue that you have. Get the help you need before you get frustrated. I can't tell you how many times I've answered support tickets and answered personally on many occasions where it's one of those things, you can tell somebody's frustrated in what they're writing, how they're writing about their problem or challenge or whatever, almost in a defeatist attitude. Not because they're negative people. It's just because that's the point they've been driven to before they decide to reach out for help, which is a bit of a contradiction, right? You need to accept the fact that there are people that know this model inside and out and can help you before you get to that level of frustration. And that's in my mind, that's what support's really for. It's not for helping you get unfrustrated. It's to help you before you get frustrated. And that goes for the software, for my training or anything like that. Of course you can use our support channels, or the live stream and things like that. But get help before you need it. Before you get, or not before you need it, excuse me. Get the help you need before you get frustrated. That's basically what I'm trying to say there. So hopefully those rules make more sense, and why I say they're not necessarily my rules. Yes, did I create them? Yes, I did. But they're rules for success in the business model. That's the key. And hopefully you see that and see what to do with that. And yeah, cool. All right, let's move on. I think I've hit that over the head enough. So software training and access. So I'm going to give you guys a quick overview and some things to work on between now and the next live stream. All right, so first off, we've got paypercallagencysuccess.com. That's the free updated training. That's a good place to start. In there, you'll also find the sales call script from Ring Ads, right? We've updated that, and here's the deal. The more you know that, the easier life is going to be for you. I promise you that much. With Google, you're going to want to get an MCC account, okay? If you don't know what an MCC account is, Google it. They don't call it an MCC account anymore, by the way. I think that Google changed the name to, account manager, ads account manager, something like that. But if you Google MCC, it'll be the first result that shows up at the top. Go ahead and apply for your MCC account. It's a couple of clicks, very simple, straightforward. You're going to want that, right? And with that, you're going to be able to do things that no one else can do with your Ring Ads account. That's key. So having an MCC and going ahead and getting approved for that is going to be super important. And in the meantime, there's some things that are different in the guides than what I'm going to teach you in the training, but it gives you in part 1 and part 2 of those guides for pay-per-call agency success in 24 hours or less, which you can find all that stuff, by the way, the sales script, the part 1 and part 2 of the guides. You can find all that at paypercallagencysuccess.com. You register for the free training and you'll have access to it in the download section. So grab all those, study them religiously, and you're going to be way far ahead of where everybody else is. I can promise you that. The Ring Ads public launch is coming. There's no date set yet. I can tell you this, though. When a date is set, it's going to be a few days out from when we actually launch, because I'm not trying to hold stuff back from you folks, okay? I promise. We're working hard as hell on it. I want to make sure everything is good to go before we do a launch like that. And yeah, so it's coming. So get ready. And yeah, let me back out of here and go to the software real quick. Let me see where we got. There we go. So software, a couple of things, actually a lot of stuff, but there's so much stuff on the to-do list. Obviously we're going to keep adding to the software, and not just to bloat it out or anything like that, but a lot of you have been asking, what am I going to get with Ring Ads? And here's the thing, like outside of additional training, there's going to be some additional training that you'll have the option to purchase. The mentorship being one of those things, right? If that's something that you feel you need, it will be open at some point. I would say probably this month at some point. I'm not sure when. It's not going to be right when we launch the software or anything like that. But a lot of you are concerned about what you're going to get access to for free, and I get that. I'm not going to hold anything back on the software. There are different levels of the software that we're going to be coding later this year, that don't have to do with agency management or call tracking. And those things that we code, yeah, we're probably going to sell those. Do you need them to run an agency? No, you do not. So you're basically going to get everything you need, training and software wise, to run an agency, including all the improvements that the industry has been lacking forever. And we're going to make sure you get those for free. Now, if you want additional training, obviously you're going to have the option to upgrade on those things. If you want prospecting modules and stuff like that, that's, we're going to automate a lot of that stuff. If you want upgrades to that, yeah, those will be paid. But in terms of the software itself, the agency management platform, the call tracking side, all of that's free. Because you should be able to make money with this. That's the whole point, is you make money with the platform, run your clients with it, and build up a business to where you're going to want to learn how to scale like we do. You're going to want to tap into a lot more automation for getting clients to grow the business on autopilot, basically, right? You're going to be in a position to make that happen if you, of course, use this 3 simple rules and use the free Ring Ad software. That's the whole point. So you're going to get access to a lot of stuff. And I guess just to cover it without like blowing you up here on everything, there's if you notice, you get like a ton of activity logs here. You've got you can see exactly when your clients have logged in, when, what device they logged in from. You've got emails, you've got all kinds of stuff, right? Under companies, let me pop this open. So you've got the different billing types, of course, sending the amount to either charge them via an invoice or send the amount that they paid already through, for example, the agency website that you build that I teach. You could just send the amount directly to the wallet. You've got campaign suspension, which is that's one of those things where when you have campaign suspension, you've got the ability to suspend the ad campaigns when it hits $0. Right, so when this wallet balance over here hits $0, you're going to be able to suspend the ad account. If they go in and into their back office and load it up with another, $500 or $200 or whatever, then the suspension is going to be unpaused and or unsuspended, I should say, and the account's going to be enabled again. The ad campaign is going to be enabled again. So and that's all automated, which you can't find that kind of stuff anywhere, right? That's a big point. Under campaigns, you'll notice there's a ton of features, ton of stuff that you can do and add alerts, especially. There's that campaign suspension we were talking about. Pretty straightforward stuff there. And one feature that a lot of people actually don't know about till they take a look is you're actually able to copy a campaign. So if you're in the same vertical, for example, HVAC or pest control, and you want to copy a campaign, watch what happens. When I copy that campaign, it takes all the, the price per call, which is probably going to stay the same client to client, more or less, right? All I got to do is select the different company that I just created, and there's the copy of the campaign. I change the name. If I need to change the amount, I change the amount. I add a new phone number in because it's a new campaign, right? I change out the number to dial. The settings are almost all going to be identical except for the call whisper and the caller message. I change those out either via MP3 or via text-to-speech, and change out the alert number and email, add the new campaign in, suspension on, and hit copy, and I'm done. Just like that. Now, if I have 5 different traffic sources, for example, if I'm running traffic from Facebook, from Bing, from YouTube ads, from display, from Google Display, we're talking, from call only, 5 or 6 different networks, I might want the same exact company. Do you know how easy it's going to be to have the exact same settings for one company to have 5 or 6 campaigns tracked under 5 or 6 different numbers? I'm going to know exactly where that money's being made. Like which campaign's making me the money. Oh, it's call only and YouTube ads, for example. Well, then I'll pause the other 4 and run with those 2. But to be able to copy a campaign like this is usually for other like platforms, it's a total pain in the ass. This right here saves a ton of time, which means saves a ton of money. It's easy to understand. It's easy to do. It's really cool to have. Blacklist, we've talked about that. You guys know what that is. Community blacklist. You add a phone number. If you don't want robocalls or spam calls, you add that number in, you're good. Staff. So staff is something that's got a couple of updates coming to it. You're going to be able to actually manage your staff as an admin, if you will. Like, this is called an admin account. So when you get your free Ring Ads account, you'll be able to manage your own staff and their access to different pages. But you're also going to be able to manage your company's, in other words, your clients' staff. So you're going to be able to, if they have 5 people that answer the phone and they rotate or something like that to be 24/7 or whatever it is that they have over there. Maybe they got 10 people in the front office. Whatever it is, you're going to be able to give their staff access to the back office of the company account, not to your account. But the point is, you'll be able to manage staff on multiple levels there, which is pretty slick. Invoices. Invoices are pretty cool. You're actually going to be able to invoice based on company logos and whatnot. You'll see their company logo, the calls that come in, how it was billed. You also get, if a payment was made, an invoice is automatically generated and marked as paid. So you can see incoming payments as well as calls billed for a particular period, which is always a nice thing to have. Tells you the amount payable. You can download, print, all that good stuff. Nice and easy, right? Disputes. This is always one of my favorites. So if you notice on disputes, and this goes for the back office of your client account as well, like you have the ability to listen to the call recording that's attached, know exactly who it is. Like, you've got an email address, you've got a phone number, and a mobile phone number. You're going to know exactly who you need to contact if you need to contact somebody about this. But if you wanted to, you could just use the messaging system inside of disputes, which is always nice. And if you look here, you've got the refund or decline button. The interesting thing about this is inside of reports, you've got the ability to, let me see if I can pull up a couple of examples here. So let me set that to lifetime. There we go. See if I can find us some examples here of what it's going to look like. Notice this column says refund status, right? Refund status. So that's going to show you the status of the call, whether it was approved for a refund, declined as a refund, or if it's pending. And it's going to be marked appropriately. Let's see. Let's go to the next page here. Maybe we'll find something. There you go. There's a few pendings. So if you mouse over that, you can see, you know right away which calls were marked as pending, right? Just like that, you're going to know. You can go in and manually bill for these or refund for these, or you can go into the disputes and take care of them there. But the idea is, if you approve one, it's going to be marked as approved. If you actually, let's do that. Let's go in here. Let's mark, what is this, XYZ? So let's do this. We'll mark this as approved, and I guess the call amount was 14 bucks. Let's do that. There we go. Okay. Now let's go to companies. We're going to click on XYZ company, and it's going to show us the report for XYZ company. See how easy that is? We just changed the dates. Let's look for lifetime. We're looking for that approved refund we just did for that client. See if we can find it here. Where are you? There you go. So you see, there it is. It's approved. It's been approved. There's an A. And declined is going to be a D. Nice and easy to read, easy to work with, easy to teach on, you name it, right? Disputes. The dispute section is by far yet another thing that everybody else just doesn't fucking have. I don't know why they don't. I mean, it's crazy to me, but and I'm sure at some point some platforms are going to see this and come along and code it and say us too, you know, and that's fine, you know. If you want to play at that level and be an us too kind of company, or work with an us too kind of company, that's your right. You have that right. Just know that, you know, we're thinking of shit like that long before everybody else is. I can promise you that much. Because we run the business. We know this business model probably better than most. Without bragging about it, we've been through a lot, and it makes the difference. It really does. So that's disputes, right? Nice and easy. You saw how easy the reports was to navigate. This is actually going to get even more detailed. Coming soon, you're going to be able to tell, especially from like search ads, which includes call only, by the way. You're going to be able to tell exactly what keyword drove your call, which is that level of tracking is just unheard of, right? You're going to be able to tell that. Now that's within Google, obviously, because they operate off of a keyword base. Bing does too. We're looking into that. We'll see if we can make that happen or not. But definitely for Google, in terms of search, anytime a search ad is run, and that includes call only, because call only is a search ad type, if you will, or a type of search ad, you're going to be able to tell exactly what phone call, what keyword drove what phone call, all from this platform. Go over to Google Ads, make your course corrections in the campaign, and go to sleep. Basically, that's how cool it is. So yeah, there's that. SMS. This is actually a dedicated channel for you to message back and forth with your clients inside the platform, right? So this is a great way to communicate with them, even schedule communications with them. It's a nice feature to have, to be able to automate a lot of the messaging that you have with them. We've got notification messages, obviously a welcome email for their login details and things like that. Notifications for all calls, missed calls, and new calls, and that's via email and SMS. Soon you're going to have some notifications for billed calls, right? You're going to have some templates that you can mess around with. Like if I open this up, you can see it's got some standard stuff there already, but if you go in and change this up, put your own company name, things like that, whatever you want your subject line to be. And you've got some shortcodes here that you can use, such as the recording for the URL, the number that it was called, and what number from, and the company name, obviously, for your client to know. Anyway, nice little set of features to have there on the notifications. Account settings. Okay, let's take a look. You got the footer message. So if you look down here at the bottom, you've got at the bottom of every page inside of your admin account, you got like the footer message. You're going to be able to change that out to whatever you want your company name to show as under company logins. So when your companies log in, they're going to see this until you change it. They're going to see ring ads, but if you change it, then they're only going to see your company name, which is nice. Same thing for privacy policy terms of service, right? You're always going to see ring ads in our privacy policy and terms of service, but if you want to change yours out, you copy paste it in here, privacy policy and terms of service. You hit save, and for your clients in their company back office, your privacy policy and terms of service will show, just like the footer. Now, in your back office, which this is or would be, these stay ring ads, right? That's us. So those don't change. Live chat. So you have the ability to do support. Like if you notice here in the bottom left here, you can actually do support. It's built into the software. This goes to ring ads, right? But you have the option to do something very similar through Live Agent or Zendesk. You just copy paste the code, turn on or off the chat. If you want to use it, great. If you don't, great. Right? Turn it on, turn it off. There you go. And you're able to use those, and they go directly to your desk. Currency. This is a big one. We actually use something called Currency Layer, and it automatically does real-time currency conversion between what you set your admin account to. For example, this one is set to US dollar, and let's say I had a bunch of Canadian clients, right? Nothing wrong with that, but Canadians live in Canada usually, so I'm told. And so if they're working off the Canadian dollar, well then, and they select that in their back office because they have the ability to, it's going to convert everything between the two accounts automatically. So I get paid in US dollar, they get shown what it costs them in Canadian. Everybody understands everybody. Everybody's speaking the same language with something like Currency Layer. It's pretty slick. You've got domain masking, which is pretty unique, and it's unique because we actually operate off of livecalls.software. So you'll notice this is racalls.livecalls.software. That's just a test account. You can actually enter in your business name .livecalls.software. That way it doesn't show as ring ads anymore, right? Obviously the logo can be changed out, recommended dimensions for that. Nice and easy. And then up here at the top, company phone number. This is the number that you can use to dial out with. This is a number you can use to receive phone calls with, and also send and receive text messages for your clients' dedicated SMS stuff over here. Nice and easy, right? Pretty straightforward. API configuration. So you can see here, you know right away what's connected, what's not. That's nice. You've got the ability to do Stripe and PayPal for payments currently. Right now it's just Twilio on the backbone, but we do have some more that's coming down the road, I'd say over the next few months, you're going to see many, many more options. Obviously, Google Ads, and the reason you want your MCC account is because you're actually going to need to have an MCC account in order to tap into that suspension feature, right? Among the other things like reporting down to the keyword, you're going to need to be able to have an MCC account to make that happen. Mailgun's nice because that's what we send our notifications out with. It's free for the first 10,000 emails a month, I think, is free, which is it's pretty slick. So free account. They do ask for like a card to verify you're a legit person or whatever, but for the account. But once they have that, then they have a card on file. They feel comfortable giving you 10,000 email notifications free per month, I believe. Don't quote me on that. You'll have to go check their site, but it's very, very low cost and very high deliverability rates. Great company, among many others that we will be adding, such as SES, SendGrid, you name it. But Mailgun, we figured we'd start with that. It's a great company. And anyway, there you go. Training videos. So you'll notice a lot of different training videos. You see some that you probably won't see when you have an account, a free account, that is. Like, for example, mentorship. If you're not in the mentorship, you're not going to see this. I mean, I can show this to you, but this will give you an idea. We're actually in the middle of updating the training videos area, but this will give you an idea of what it looks like. You've got the different sessions, and you've got slides, for example, attached to each session. You're going to have a bunch of different stuff there. One thing that I've been asked a lot that I'd like to clarify for people for the software is you're actually going to be able to, you're going to have white label training videos. You are going to have white label training videos for your clients that you can show them in the back office. And as an admin, if you notice here, I can actually choose to make my own training videos. So for example, client training videos, and I can make this visible to the clients that I have and hit add, done. And so now I have a new category here, client training videos. And that's going to show, this specifically is going to show to my clients. And I can go in here, I can add my own training videos. How do I do that? I click on add video, title, URL, select the category, client training videos, add any files that I have, and we're golden, right? It's nice and easy. And you'll be able to add your own training videos if you wanted to. So if you don't like the white label videos that train your client how to spend more money with you and operate the back office, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't, for some reason, you can make your own, no problem. Or use both, right? Maybe you have two different categories, one that you've made and one that we've made for you. Totally up to you. So of course you're going to see all the different categories that you can tap into from the software training to Google calling the ads to a bunch of different subjects, right? Resources, bonuses, things like that, right? And you'll see some test categories. That's just me testing around in the account, and that's pretty much it for now for the software. Tons and tons of stuff on the back end, like auto upgrading options, all kinds of really pretty slick stuff that you're going to have access to. So I think that's a pretty comprehensive overview of where we're at now with Ring Ads and what's coming. Let's see, Facebook group. Let's go back to our slides here real quick. Grab a drink. Okay, so the Facebook group. Here's some things I want to. I mean, this may seem like I'm being harsh about something. Let me explain to you about the Facebook group and why it's so important for all of us. The Facebook group is a very valuable resource because it gives us knowledge that not only can this be done, it can be done quickly. Success stories and wins and sharing with each other and asking each other questions. That's very, very important. It's something that that money can't buy. And everything else that money can buy, that's great. But this is something that money can't buy. So we want to treat it with a lot of respect, the most respect possible that we can. So how do we do that? Well, we garden it, right? We treat it like it's a garden. We pull the weeds, and by pull the weeds, I don't mean people. People are not weeds. People are the fruit. People are the vegetable that grows, and we want the fruit and the vegetables, you guys and gals, to grow like Miracle Grow style, right? Like like huge fruit, like fruit you take to a fair, like that kind of fruit, that kind of vegetable. So in order for us to do that, obviously we have to garden and tend the garden very well. We have to water it, we have to weed it, all those kinds of things. And but what I mean by weed is weed out the negative crap. By the way, we all have it, right? We all have it. So here's the thing about it: we have a zero tolerance policy for it. So you'll get one warning privately, and then if it happens again, obviously you're out. And we have to do that because it's a garden. You know, we can't have the same weed keep popping up. And I don't mean same person. I mean the same kind of negative crap that pops up. You folks know what I'm talking about. We all have those thoughts. I'll tell you straight out, if you've got something to complain about, I'm all ears. I really am. I have no problems talking to you about something, making something right that you feel is wrong, or if you've got a problem with somebody in the group for some reason, I have no idea, right? All kinds of things can happen and pop up. I get that. Just come to support. Come directly to the source, and we'll get you squared away. I'm not going to let you down on that. The group is just not the place for that, right? That's the place that's the well that we draw from for motivation and support and just all the good things that money can't buy, right? The camaraderie, the teamwork. There's a ton of value that can be had from a carefully gardened group, and so I don't want you to think it's punitive in nature. To hold one warning privately and then you're out. It has to be a blatant offense, like somebody coming in and just totally just doing this, and I don't expect that of you. But I do have to make this known. I think that's important because it shows you, okay, that's how serious this group is and that's what it's about. But I'm not saying take your shit somewhere else either. I'm saying bring it to support. Right? Like you got some baggage, you got some stuff that you need to get off your chest or talk about. Usually there's a root to it. Usually I've never not seen a root to a problem like that or a challenge like that. Come to me and support. I'll do my best to help you with whatever it is that's on your mind, right? Just don't put it in the group because that's not the place for it. What is for the group, right? Well, that's questions and answers, right, from everyone. I've seen a lot of times where, especially like in the mentorship group, the reason why so many people are winning so quickly over there in the mentorship group is not because they're in the mentorship group. It's a great group, don't get me wrong. One of the best, actually. But that's not what makes the group valuable. What makes the group valuable is how often people come in and share their progress and their wins. I mean, any successful student I've ever taught over the years has always done one thing, and that's really engage with the group and the support functions that we have. That's what makes a successful, or is the mark of a successful anyway, student, right? And I say student, member, Ring Ads member, right? And accessing live streams, right? That's what we're on right now. We're on a live stream, so use the Facebook group to access the live streams, the shared documents, all that kind of stuff, right? That's what the Facebook group is all about, sharing your journey, your progress, your wins. By the way, wins doesn't just mean clients. A win is, you gotta understand, I was thinking about this the other day. Let me come to my screen here real quick so you don't have to stare at PowerPoint all the time while I'm talking about this. I was thinking about this the other day. You look at Michael Jordan, or you look at Dale Earnhardt Sr., you look at any professional athlete that's like widely regarded as one of the best or the best in their field, right? You look at what they do. Did they play one game, or did they race one race and become who they were, right? No. It was countless races. It was countless ball games that they did over their career to get to the levels of all-time greatest, right? And that's kind of what I'm getting at here, is that a win is not just a championship ring. A win is not just when you get your 6th championship ring or your 7th title or whatever, right? It's about every game. It's about every point. It's about every inch on the field. If you're a football guy, right? It's about every down to the inch, right? That's where it starts, and then you win that inch, and then once you've won the inch, then you win the next scoring round. Then after the next scoring round, you win the game, and then you win the next game, and so on and so forth. And that's how you progress throughout a career. So a win is not just getting a client. That's like saying, a win is only when you win a game. No, wins are at every level, and that could be setting up your client agency website, going through the training, role playing with your with the sales script that you've got, reviewing parts 1 and 2. You know how many people don't review part 1 and part 2 of the guide? Do you know how many people do not and have not have access to it right now? Everybody on this call has access to it right now. I guarantee you, more people than not, even listening on this call, replay wise, live, doesn't matter, have not looked at those guides the way they know they should have, at the very least. And every time somebody, I see messages all the time, every time somebody reads the guide, it's like, oh my God, why didn't I look at this like a month ago, 2 months ago? Because I made them very valuable. I did that on purpose because I wanted you to have access to as much as possible with as minimal input, as possible, maximum output, right? So go and review those guides and understand that posting your wins or sharing and journaling your wins is not just a client, it's a qualified phone call. You saw a post from Romeo, right? Qualified phone call. That was a win. Agency website. That was a win. All kinds of stuff, right? Wins are throughout an entire career, not just clients. Okay, so get out of that space, get out of that headspace of thinking, and start thinking about what win can I get today? And then tomorrow it's another win, and tomorrow it's another win. And before you know it, you will have clients as wins. And before you know it, you will have adding staff to your agency as wins. And before you know it, you'll be messaging me from a beach somewhere, laughing your ass off about all the wins you've had over your career, and realizing that it was just about each win one at a time, and that a win does not mean client. I do not mean clients when I say wins. Those are wins for sure. Are they the only type of win? Absolutely not. So keep in mind that's the Facebook group, right? I'll come back to my screen here and move forward. So live streams, we're always going to have training topics to cover. We're always going to cover them first, and we'll do that without interruption. And then at the end of each stream, we're going to have like an Ask Me Anything style format, where I guess sometimes we'll do some live calls if somebody wants to review campaigns, things like that. I don't mind doing that. I've done that for years. That's not an issue. And most cases we'll have comments. Some of you won't want to come on live, and that's fine. I have no problem with that either. I will respond to your comments. Matter of fact, as soon as this slide is done, I'll jump over to the comments. I see some of them coming in here. I want to make sure I engage with you folks. And the idea here is that you want to use these because the more engagement you have with us, the better and faster your results are going to be, straight up. That has been proven many, many times over on successful people that have been successful with this business model have had the most engagement, and that is just a fact. It just is. All right, before I jump into support, let me come over to the comments here. Why are there outbound calls? That's a good question, Julian. So here's the deal. Outbound calls, let me come back to my camera here. Outbound calls are a function that you can use to prospect with. Same thing as inbound calls, right? It's also a way for you to, if you noticed back in the software, there were numbers that were hyperlinked, like in the reports. You can actually, with one click, call a customer, potential customer, and find out what they were looking for, right? I mean, the idea is to be able to reach out to anybody, client-wise or customer-wise, potential customer-wise, for your client, with the click of a mouse, right, and be able to just dial out or dial manually through the dialer. The reason it's there is because it's nice and easy for especially staff. It's not necessarily for you. You can use it by all means, and you can use it for the reasons I just gave you and many more, but it's nice to have all in one place, right? I mean, the app is mobile optimized, so you can make phone calls from your company phone number, not your cell phone number, but your company phone number from your cell phone logged into Ring Ads. You can do that without having to download some kind of app or anything like. You just dial out, and take the call, which is pretty slick. I think that's pretty slick. So anyway, that's what that's all about. Will you be able to upload your own company logo and place a Ring Ads? Yes. And masking of the URL, yes. That's livecalls.software, right? That's the masking that you'll have. Read those guides several times on Tuesday. Great stuff. Cool. All right, good. Somebody read some guides. That's good. I like seeing that because I know where you're at headspace wise and what's going on in your brain, and how close you actually are to making this thing sing for you. So good deal. Let's move on to the rest of our slides here, and we'll bounce out of here. I don't want to keep you all day, right? Want to get to work. So support. So there's actually currently anyway 5 ways to reach our support. And I'm looking at the part over there on the right. Number 1, you've got ringads.com, and you can use the support links at the top of the page and then also on the bottom right hand side. When we launch, obviously the website's going to change a bit, but that's going to be very similar. Support links will still be at the top and on the bottom right hand side. Inside the software, number 2, you're going to find where I showed you in the bottom left hand corner, right? You're going to see that dedicated there for you. Number 3, you could just email us directly at successteam@ringads.com. Why do I call our support staff success team? Why would you think, right? Why would you think? It's because we're dedicated to seeing you succeed. That's our goal. So I gave our team a name because I feel like if it says what we do in the name, that's very powerful. That's actually kind of what I teach. So I took one from my own playbook there. And we formed the success team at Ring Ads, the Ring Ads success team. So pretty proud of that, and I know that a lot of good's going to come from that. Number 4, you can submit a ticket. You can go to Ring Ads directly, ringads.ladesk.com. Number 5, you can join the free Facebook group, which if you're watching this, you are in the free Facebook group, okay? But there you go. There's the 5 ways you can reach our support. And the ideal use for the support channels like the email and the tickets and whatnot inside the software, those are ideally used for software usage. Any kind of bugs or errors, things like that. I'm not saying that I don't get tickets for general stuff, but I like to see that stuff in the group more because everybody benefits from seeing the answers to those questions, right? So basically, live streams in the Facebook group, that's what we talk about. It's for everything else. It's non-software, basically. So if it's non-software, it goes in Facebook, ideally. So think business model, think ad campaign questions, think client acquisition. Basically, everything that's not software would go ideally in the live streams here or in the Facebook group, right? And the support channel, use that more for support on the actual software, right? Software support. I'm not saying I don't answer questions or anything. It's not a strict rule or anything like that. It's just guidance. Obviously, I appreciate, and I know all the other members do as well, when you ask questions in the Facebook group that are non-software, they get to learn from the questions you've asked. So I think that's very important. So unless it's extremely private for some reason, which should be very rare, ask in the Facebook group. Ask in the live stream. I have no problem answering those questions and getting you the answers you need. That's the whole point of our support, right? So that's what the Ring Ad Success Team is about. All right, cool. So 5 ways to reach us. That's a lot. Next steps. Let's talk about it. Okay, so here's some things you can do. We kind of covered some of them. I just want to make sure we're all good to go here. So pay-per-call-agency-success.com, you got the free updated training. You just register for that. It's free, and you've got instant access to it. Review part 1 and part 2 of the pay-per-call agency success in 24 hours or less guides. Those are extremely valuable guides. I know a lot of people over the years, maybe I screwed up making them PDFs, but they're PDFs that actually have video training linked inside of it, as well as a bunch of other sources and whatnot. It's really, really pretty slick. But if you're thinking it's your daddy's PDF, it's not your daddy's PDF. All right, this is this is by far some of the best stuff I've produced. And I mean, anytime a PDF takes you days to complete, I mean, think about that. Most people write a PDF in an afternoon, and it's not because I suck at writing, by the way. I know the topic very well. There was no issue there. I just had to make sure everything was in the right place in the right order, and some of that stuff I figured would be better to have over the shoulder video training wise, right? I thought that was very important to have. So those guides are super detailed, and really with papercallagencysuccess.com, that training, right? And part 1 and part 2 of the guide, and I've actually seen this. People have succeeded with just that. I've seen people succeed in this agency model with just that, at least initial success with just that, right? Forget about ring ads for a second. That is that's powerful. All right, so that said, please review those. Those are very important. The Google MCC account setup, definitely want to have that rocking and rolling. It's pretty straightforward. Study the Ring Ads Proven Sales Script. It's been updated recently as gosh, a couple months ago. Super important that you access that and start using it. Get on the early bird list. So if you go to ringads.com, you can actually sign up for the early bird list. That way you'll know via email when the Ring Ads public launch hits. I'll definitely be emailing the people that have signed up there. Don't worry, I'm not going to spam you a bunch of shit affiliate offers or anything like that. That's not my style. It's not what I do. I keep it strictly about pay-per-call. So you're only going to hear from me if it's worth hearing from me about. All right. I don't push other people's shit. And you know what? Here's the thing. Some of it's not shit. Some of the stuff I see out there is actually very valuable. And if you hear me talk about it, I'll talk about it in a way that I use it. Affiliate link wise, I probably will promote some stuff from time to time, but you're going to know 100% ahead of time that it is a promotion. And I can almost guarantee you this: every time I do promote something, before you ever see any kind of an affiliate link or a sales page, you are going to see how I use it. How I use it. Because I'm never going to promote something from someone. I don't care who they are, how good it is, whatever. I'm never going to promote something from someone that I haven't used myself. And I don't mean just say that I've used it. I'm going to show you actual, not even proof, but just documented. I guess proof would be one way to do it. But another way is like show you how I use something so that you can come in and copy what I'm doing and how it applies to your pay-per-call business model. Like, that's what I want. I don't want you buying a bunch of shit you don't need. Or that's not pay-per-call focused. I want you focused on what you can do to drive more phone calls. So anything that supports that, and if it has an affiliate link, yeah, I'll show you an affiliate link, but not before I show you how the hell I use it, right? Because I'm not in the business of affiliate marketing, and don't get me wrong, affiliate commissions are great, but to me, there's a certain ethical practice that goes along with it, and that's just me. That's just how I choose to do business. That's not everybody. But I don't want you opting into an email list on ringads.com thinking I'm going to email you a bunch of shit, because I'm not. Now, I will email the crap out of you about Ring Ads public launch, but that's what you're signing up for, right? That's kind of the point there. So that said, when we do launch, I will be notifying those people via email and inside the Facebook group, which you're currently in, for the Ring Ads public launch. And that is coming soon. And I promise you one thing: it is totally worth the wait. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts going on right now that you folks, I don't even know if I'll ever show this at all. Just know that it's being worked on very, very hard and very diligently, very consistently, and we're close. We're close. So that said, I guess I can take some questions. If you folks have some questions, I'm going to get something to drink here. Ask away in the comments, and we'll see where we're at. Let's see. Yep, that's where we're at on the slides. Let me grab a drink here real quick and answer some questions here. All right. Instead of looking at a blank screen, you get to look at this thing. I am not seeing any other comments. Man, a lot of people want to hear from Romeo. That's good, though. That's good. If you have questions, by all means, ask away. That's what I'm here for. Um, and I will answer those questions. Sorry, looking at my screen here real quick. Saw something pop up on Facebook. Nope. Okay, cool. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? You folks know I'm here to answer. But yeah, what is that? An hour, a little over an hour in. That's actually a very short call for me usually. Usually I'm doing 2 or 3 hour calls, no problem. Actually, our Monday mentorship call was, I think, a couple hours. So, did you say we can prospect inside the software? No. Um, well, you can. Let me rephrase. You can do that with the dial pad. So, if you were to go, let me go back to my screen here real quick. It's a good question. If you were to go to Ring Ads and go to, for example, the dial pad, shows up on every page. You can dial out, right? Absolutely. Is it a good idea to do that? No. Inbound is not a bad idea because you just use the same. You set up a company, which would be you. Set up a campaign for that company, and create a forwarding number that you can run with the dialer, for example, like ringless voicemail or voice broadcasting. Right. That's what I teach, and I've got some great sources for that. Um, Very dialed in and know their shit. Like that's their business. And so much to the point that they're a phone carrier, like the equivalent of AT&T or T-Mobile, which is pretty big. That's a pretty big deal. So um, we're talking the best rates you can find and the best connection rates you can find, best technology and so forth, so on and so forth. So yeah, the dial pad is definitely one way you can do that. In terms of like upgraded software later. Yeah, we're going to have some automated prospecting modules. Absolutely, we will. Is that going to be included in Ring Ads for free? Hell no. Hell no. You don't. The reason why is because you don't actually need it to produce clients in this model. I'm going to show you a whole set of client acquisition systems that you can apply that aren't automated. They're semi-automated, and if you want to automate it, in other words, continue to grow your agency just easier, right? Then yeah, you would pay us a premium for that, absolutely, because it's not something you need to run your business in pay per call, right? To run your pay per call agency. Is it nice to have? Yeah. So it's kind of like, think of it like this. Think of it as like this is a car, and it's a really tricked out car, but heated seats is an option all of a sudden. Are you going to pay for that? Yeah, you're going to have to pay for that. Like that's what the prospecting side is going to look like. So, and there's going to be more levels to that. I can't really divulge much on that right now or what that's going to look like because I got a lot of haters and a lot of spy happy people right now, and so it's much better for me to play things close to the chest. Everything you've been shown today, I could care less because we've got it and it's been out, and it's not something that needs to be played close to the chest, right? So some of the other stuff, if I've mentioned it, then we're working on it, and it's a matter of time, and we'll be first. We'll have it first, and if we don't have it first, then we're going to do it better. Either way, it doesn't matter because you're always going to have that innovation here, and I think that's what's lacking actually with most software as a service companies. To be honest, I'm not digging on everybody. I'm just saying what I see. Right? I've seen it in all kinds of different SaaS platforms that I use in my business, and just took a survey on one of those platforms today about that kind of stuff. So good question. Appreciate you asking, and hopefully that clarifies. What about the prospecting module there. Okay, let's see, you mentioned generating calls from Facebook. Will you go over how we may do that in due time? Absolutely, I will. I'm not going to listen, folks, I'm not going to give you guys access to plug into different ad platforms and not teach you how to use it. I'm going to teach you every type of campaign, and then we're going to do case studies on all those different types of campaigns as well. So you're going to have access to all that inside of the free version of Ring Ads. Absolutely, you will, because that is something that you can use to grow the agency, and it's agency based, right? It's agency based on the growth of the agency, the management of the agency, and the call tracking side, right? Those are things that I'm not going to exclude or charge you for. They're going to be inside of the free Ring Ads. Absolutely. And I'm doing this. You folks, hopefully you get why I'm doing this. If you don't, I'll tell you straight out. I'm doing this because when you have a software like this that can run your business and only do so better every day, then you're going to want to, at some point as you grow the business, do more business with me, because I've given you access to something that gave you your jump start. And not only your jump start, but keeps you on the cutting edge. Like that's worth sticking around me for a while, right? And so that's where some of the additional training, mentorship, and some of the over the shoulder stuff, and access to my campaigns, all kinds of stuff that's coming that you guys are going to be able to access. Yeah, those are paid premiums, absolutely. In terms of what you need to succeed with this model, no, we're going to make that free. And I think this is something the industry, the pay-per-call industry specifically, has been crying out for a long, long time, and it's about time somebody came along and did that. So, I mean, here I am, right? That's kind of the point, and a lot of you have responded favorably with that, so that's good. That means I'm on the right track, and I hear you, and I hear your troubles and struggles, and I'm not trying to nickel and dime you to death. I want you to succeed with this and do well with it. There's plenty of money to be made here for your agency, and I just don't see nickel and diming you on a software like this where you can stay on the cutting edge, and then you're going to naturally want to work with me anyway. I think that's a great way for us to start doing business together inside of Ring Ads. So that's why I'm not like excluding certain platforms and ad platforms, things like that. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. No. Nope. Cool. Good questions. Any other questions? Let me see here. No, I'm not seeing anything yet. Okay, I'll wait around just for a second or two and see if we have any other questions here. Let's see. Nothing on Facebook, on the phone either. Let's see. I am not seeing anything. Nope. Okay. Check one more time. Nope. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I've got some stuff to do, but I'll be back a little bit later today. I'll check in on this thread, the actual live stream thread that we're on right now. And if you comment and ask a question, I'll be more than happy to answer that for you. It's been a pleasure. It's been a good, I think, a good first coaching call for Ring Ads in the new year. And I'm excited for the next one, because I think by the next call we should have Ring Ads launched publicly, which means we'll have a lot to talk about and a lot to help you out with. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that, and I'm sure you are as well. A lot of tricks up our sleeves. Which is good. Keeps everybody on their toes, and keeps the industry pushing forward the way it should be, instead of just stagnating like it has been. And yeah, that's good. So I'm looking forward to having you around and be along for that ride and build an agency along with us, right? That's going to be a lot of fun. So I will see you on the next coaching call. Ask questions if you